hump day, everybody. Happy hump day on the hottest show in the streets. Talking your Bama football news in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. After the Crimson Tide handled the LSU Tigers in Death Valley, now we turn our attention back to Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium this weekend. Bama taking on Mercer of the FCS platform there. But as always, we're bringing the show from the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you through YouTube. Speaking of a channel, you know what time it is. You tap that subscribe button right now. You hit subscribe. You get locked in, locked on to the number one form of Bama football that is right here in my own words. Also, smash the like button. Hit that thumbs up. Tap the like button. Raise those like levels up right there. We appreciate that coming from all of you. The daily Super Chat go $100. Daily Super Chat go $100 right there. We appreciate that. Got a lot happening on tonight's show. So first and foremost, we're getting into the conversation at the Wolf linebacker position and preparing for Mercer, with Q-Rob out for the remainder of the season, with Keanu Coots suspended for at least this game right here. Kane Womack about to unleash the Wolf Pack. Who is about to pop out of these pack of wolves? We're going to get into that right there. And right after that, we look into Jihad Campbell. Has Alabama found its alpha guy, its alpha personality on defense to lead everybody else the promised land, that being the college football playoff and contending for a national championship? We'll get into Jihad Campbell and then a discussion about does Alabama use, or how does Alabama build off its performance against LSU to make sure there is no letdown when you talk about this week against Mercer? All of that and your phone calls, 205-448-1358 for them to call in to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. We want to hear from you. But begin the topic number one of the conversation tonight, and that goes to Alabama's outside linebacker room at the Wolf position. A position that at the start of the season, you had a lot of depth, probably one of the strongest positions on the team, that Wolf outside backer, edge pass rusher position. Well, since the LSU game, we've had some things to happen here. So Q Robinson, who has had a strong season prior to suffering an upper body wrist injury against the Tigers. We're talking 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 6 quarterback hurries. Put up some very strong numbers there, but suffered an upper body wrist injury against the Tigers. He's out for the rest of the year. And then you have Keanu Coots, a former 4-star who came in the 2021 class from Florida, is suspended for this game, according to Kalen DeBoer and Kane Womack. Now, how long is Coots suspended for? Neither of the coaches gave any details on that. All they said is, hey, he's suspended, so right now, an undisclosed amount of time. But when you look at Coach Womack and when you look at Christian Robinson, outside linebackers coach, they're prepared to unleash the Wolf Pack, the pack of wolves. Despite what's happened in the room, the depth that Alabama has at that position, these two coaches prepared to unleash the pack. So with Q-Rob out for the rest of the season, who leads that pack of wolves? Well, you've got 2 young guys that both came in the 2023 class. 2 young guys that are both Alabama natives. 2 young guys that both arrived as 5-star prospects. I'm talking about Quay Rousseau and Yancey Pierre. These 2. This is your duo at Wolf. This is your Batman and Robin at Wolf right now. These are your 2 main guys. These are your guys called upon to step up in the absence of Q Robinson. This is your duo here. Quay Russaw came in the 2023 class, former five-star from Carver High School in Montgomery. He's gotten quite the amount of playing time this year. Yancey Pierre, former five-star 2023 class, redshirt freshman out of Eufaula High School in Alabama. He started off getting extensive playing time when Quay Russaw was banged up, and then Pierre got hurt himself. Now he's back healthy and back into the rotation. And Quay Russaw spoke about this on Tuesday. You know, it's time for him and Yancey to be the guys now, right? It's time for both of these two to take full ownership of this outside linebacker room at the Wolf position. So this duo, it's going to be very, very intriguing. And not just these two, you've got two young guys, two true freshmen that are about to be let off the chain. And we're talking Ja'Shawn Ross and Noah Carter. Both of these two have not played much at all this season. Noah Carter has played in one game. Ja'Shawn Ross has yet to see the field. And according to Christian Robinson, he said, hey, I'm looking forward to getting these two young guys on the field, see how they execute the details, see how they execute the assignments out there. They're no longer red shirts. He said it. These two are no longer red shirts. The red shirts are coming off. We're putting these two on the field against Mercer, and we are about to see what we got. So we are about to look at the depth at the Wolf backer position, people, on full display. And going back to Pierre for a minute, when you look at Yancey at 6'3", 239 pounds, the question that we are all going to ask now, will he be? Can he be? Does he become as good as his All-American cousin at the University of Alabama? For those of you who don't know, Pierre and Courtney Upshaw, first cousins, right? Pierre and Courtney Upshaw. Courtney Upshaw, also from Eufaula High School. Courtney Upshaw, two-time BCS national champion, 2009, 2011. Courtney Upshaw, first-team All-American in 2011. Upshaw, first-team All-SEC in 2011. Upshaw captained, anchored an Alabama defense in 2011 under Nick Saban that led college football in all 5 major defensive categories, including scoring defense. Alabama only gave up 8.2 points per game that year. And total defense, Alabama giving up 163.1 yards per game that year. Courtney Upshaw also a Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens. So does Pierre become like his All-American cousin? We're about to see this unfold here, but just getting back to Noah Carter and Ja'Shawn Ross, this is cool here. You're getting to see two true freshmen be let off the chain. The red shirt is over. We're about to see both of these two young men on the field be able to contribute at that Wolf position in trying to step up in the absence of their injured teammate, injured brother there, Q Robinson. So Kane Womack, Christian Robinson, they know we have depth here at this position. We have some pieces here to choose from, but this is how we're going to start this off. With Quay Russaw, Yancey Pierre, and the two young guys, Noah Carter and Ja'Shawn Ross. But we take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting started. Upon our return, we go to the phone lines to get your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Light us up on a Wednesday. We want to hear from you, the Bama Nation, after this.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
TDA Plus is the all-new Ultimate Alabama Football Package, perfect for any Alabama football fan. Not only do you get subscriber-only articles where you can stay up to date on everything that's going on with Alabama football, you also get our brand new video hub that features many podcasts and shows, including Steven's Report with Stephen M. Smith. With over 15 years of covering Alabama football, you get trusted information as Stephen goes in person to see the team come back and break down to you what he saw live in person. You also get the Way It Is podcast with Stephen M. Smith, where he tells never heard before stories and crazy situations that happened during his 15-year tenure of covering Alabama football. You also get Justin and Dex, where they break down recruits like you've never seen it before, with exclusive behind-the-scenes information and exclusive interviews with recruits. You also get Justin's Recruiting Bites with Justin Smith, where you get the best up-close and personal recruiting information and even talks to you while he's on the road going to recruiting events. Alabama fans, you don't want to miss this huge offer for a jam-packed experience for only $7.95 per month. Visit touchdownalabama.com and become a TDA Plus member today.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people. We're back into the action from the break here on a Wednesday. Number one ticket for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have all of you guys here on a Wednesday. Bama preparing for Mercer on Saturday. Bryant-Denny Stadium, Saban Field in Tuscaloosa. 1 p.m. Central Time kickoff. This game will be streaming on SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus. But we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. For number to call in, 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feel, and state your name and where you calling from.
Steve, what's going on, my boy? This G. How you doing?
G, man, doing great, brother. How are you?
Hanging in there, man, taking it day by day. Hey, look, there, dog. So we came out against LSU and we did something different, and it's kind of what we've been asking for the whole year. And there's no slight to Jalen Milroe, but we've been asking to run the ball more than we pass the ball. So that was good to see us do that. But I'm not really proud of the team for what we did on offense. LSU defense been kind of suspect about the past 3 seasons. I like what we did on defense, Steve.
Right.
Yeah, I like how the defense look. I was really looking at the secondary because, LSU probably got about at least 2 receivers where you can say, all right, they can do a little something. So to see our DBs get out there and they look comfortable. They look like they knew what they was doing. They look like they knew the assignment. And I'm gonna say this. I think it's all about what we said before. That this team will become a team. It's not gonna be led by a true star. Even though they're starting to look like Jahad Campbell may take that true star role, but this team is coming together on a team basis. And I want to say I think Bryson Hubbard has solidified the secondary. What you think?
I think Bray has also. I mean, Bray has the back end playing way more physicality, way more toughness. The kid's got range. He's got 2 interceptions on the year. I mean, would I be wrong to say, as much as people were bothered by the Caleb Downs decision to transfer to go to Ohio State, Bryson Hubbard has come right in here and has completely made you forget about Caleb Downs?
I would say this. I'm not going to say forget. Caleb came in here and had 100 tackles as a freshman, bit dog. So I ain't going to say forget. But I would say, you know how people swipe the little sweat off their forehead and say, woo. I can say we might could do that, a little sigh of relief that we might have plugged in somebody that. But no, hell no, big dog. Caleb different. If you think about it, just think if we was to have Caleb and Bray back there, I think we'd be undefeated.
That would be nasty. That would be filthy.
Yeah, I think if we could have kept hold of Caleb, and hey, who's to say that Mr. Mississippi would have got his shot? It's all depend on that, right? But like hypotheticals, man, Caleb and Bray, I see an undefeated season with that. But I will say this too: we have a hole on the edge, right? We have a hole on the edge, and Q went down. I hate that for Q. He's been here 5 seasons. You know, it looked like he was going to have a great year this year. What was it, about 5 sacks before he went out? 5 to 6 sacks before he went out?
Yeah, 5.
So he was making a good name for us. He was at 5, right? So he was at 5, and I just hated for the big dog. But still, somebody came in the game last week. And you know, I always see it because it only takes 3 plays. We got to put Keon Keeley out there.
I'm going to say this.
Keon Keeley got to start.
He has started to get it.
Go ahead.
He started. He's got it now. Like for a while, and people need to understand this. When he first came, because Saban recruited him. When he first came, he was recruited to be an outside linebacker. And so when Saban retires, here comes Kane Womack. Womack transitioned him to a field side defensive end. That's a whole new position he's got to learn.
Okay.
He's adding on more weight to his body as well, going to 277 pounds. Now, if you put him back in that Wolf stand-up edge rusher role, that's what he's more so used to because that's what he came in recruited as. I think it's time to put Keeley out there more. I think Keeley has finally knocked all the way in on don't worry about the outside noise, just play your ball.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you look at the film of the LSU game, when he got in, dog, he beat his one-on-one every play. And you know what crazy? It always be so amazing to me. I wonder what's the small factors why the best player don't play. It be so crazy. Man. You can look at a guy get out there. You be like, man, like what's your boy name? Yabe Anoma. You remember him?
Oh yeah.
I believe that dude had like 3 sacks on like 4 snaps, and we never seen him. You got the other guy. What's the other guy? Ajayi Hall. You know, Alabama has not done an exceptional job of playing guys, or how about this, handling guys who know they should play. You get what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, in the Saban era, we've lost a handful of guys who don't respect. I got to sit behind someone. Everybody's not going to take to that. Everybody's not going to say, you know, I'm a freshman. Woo, 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 let the old guy get a shot. Everybody don't care about that. And I feel like we have fumbled a handful of guys who just knew they should be playing. Like, what's your boy name? Aaron Anderson.
Yeah.
Aaron Anderson was not supposed to sit under Jermaine Burton. Jermaine Burton, what's the name? How I say it?
I mean, Jermaine Burton.
Right?
You can even throw Ja'Cory Brooks in there too.
They won't pull to sit behind those guys, dog. You know what I'm saying? I get the transfer when you come to the portal, you got a transfer portal deal or a promise or whatever the case may be. But Steve, you know how I feel about this. I'm big on the guys who sat in that living room and their parents committed to you to come play for the University of Alabama. I think we did a disservice by playing Sab over Bray because we can see the better player now. No knock to Sab, but we've been calling this for 2 seasons. We've been calling Mr. Mississippi to get out there for 2 seasons, and the way he has changed the defense, because like I say, Keon Sab is a gambler. That's his style. You know what I'm saying? He's not elite at it like Eddie was. He's not elite at it like Robert Lester was. He's decent. But Brayson Hubbard has that Vinny Sincere in him. So remember we talked about this, Steve. Bama will win that chip when they get that lineup right. They had JJ out there a lot more last week. They had your boy Campbell rushing that edge a lot last week. So we're seeing the staff do what me and you talked about. We're seeing the staff gel and learn what it takes to be in the SEC. We're seeing Sheridan accept You got to have bully ball, not finesse ball, to come out of the SEC. You're seeing Walmack understand. Hey, dog. Hey, we got to put them thumpers out there. We got to stop that run. You can't stop that run. You can't dictate. So when we come out in Mercer, I don't want to. Everybody talking about they want to see the pass game. I don't want to see the pass game because it don't mean a damn hill of beans. Because he's not going to do the same thing when it's time to play opposing teams. What I'm looking for again, Steve, is another shutout, and I want to see us run that ball 60 more times. Appreciate you, big dog.
Appreciate my man G from Raleigh calling in, getting us started here on a Wednesday. Excuse me there. We're going to take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feel, and state your name and where you calling from.
Long time no speak. This Tobias out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Tobias, how we doing, man?
Good. Hope all well with you, my good brother.
Hey, I'm doing well, man. I mean, doing fantastic after, you go down to the Death Valley and you stick a sword in the tiger.
Yeah.
You got to be feeling good.
I know. And the one thing that was missed about why this running game looks so great against LSU, it's kind of hard to run when you first and 20 or second and 20. It's hard to establish a run then. But they were ahead of the chains. They didn't have those back-breaking holding penalties that make it first or second and 20, because It's hard to establish a run when you're that far behind the chains.
Right, and so Tobias, it's good you brought that up because on Alabama's first drive, it had a penalty on the first drive, a false start. And I'm like, oh, man, here we go again. But the way Alabama was able to put that behind them and take it right down the field, and Milroe scores on a 39-yard run, that's when I knew this team has learned from the Tennessee game.
Yes, and the thing is, what people got to understand is this is a brand new system, and like a lot of those young DBs, to be honest, they weren't even supposed to be playing this year if all those guys didn't hit the portal. And they've gotten better. And but the one thing also is, like I said, these coaches are getting adjusted to things because they didn't spend that much time with these players also. They got there not that far for spring ball. So they're really getting their first real look at what these guys can do in game situations. And he's seeing it get better throughout the year. And one thing with Milroe, I think what they learned also is that we just got to be honest. I believe he's an average passer on his best day, like all the stuff. Not saying he's terrible, but the one thing I think they learned also, he's not an RPO read option guy. He's hey, this is a QB power, QB counter. You go with it. I'm not knocking him. It's just not his game. That's like me saying Shaq should be shooting threes. That's not his game. His game is dunking on you,
Correct.
But I do think what happened, you've seen the offensive line get better. I think the penalties got better. Defense has gotten better. And the one thing you brought up I like, and I kind of criticized Coach Saban on this towards his latter years. Sometimes you just got to get the young guys some snaps. Even if it's 10, give them some snaps because you may keep them engaged. You get them some experience. Not saying that you take it away from the older guys, but like you said with Yonze Pierre and Noah Carter, even they get 10, 15 snaps. What's that going to hurt? Because you may need these guys, because guess what? Q Robinson got hurt. So you need people that got some flow in the game, but I'm loving what this staff is doing, Stephen. You're seeing the growth from the players. You can tell they bought in, but you can also see the staff growing as well to get to know these players as well. And they finished 10-2 and make the playoff in year one with all they lost, what they came in with. That's a heck of a year under the circumstances.
It really is. It really is. I mean, it's a major thing when you think about. You go back to Tobias January. Nick Saban shocks everybody by saying, "I'm out. I'm retiring. I'm out."
Portal closed.
I mean, close curtain. I'm out. And Greg Byrne, I can only imagine as the athletic director, his eyes are bloodshot red he is going to everybody saying, look, please, give me 3 days. Give me 72 hours to find the next coach. He finds the next coach in 40 hours. Greg doesn't get any type of sleep. So you look at the whirlwind of from the moment Sabre retired to Greg Byrne getting Coach DeBoer to Kagan DeBoer hopping on a plane getting here to DeBoer having to quickly build relationships with these guys, keep guys from transferring, keep the multitude of this team together, keep the bulk of a 2024 class together, then to go through a spring with all of this, then to get all the way to fall camp, then you go through some bumps in the road against Vanderbilt and Tennessee, and then you're sitting now with the shot to go 10-2, and you still could possibly play in an SEC championship game should more chaos ensue. I don't think it happens, but should more chaos ensue. The point is, you finish out this year 10-2, and you make a deep playoff run. This is one spectacular season.
Yeah, and you're right. And I'll say this before I go. I'm not expecting a national championship. I just want to make the playoff, But I live out west, so we actually got a lot of Washington games. And the thing about this staff is they are developers. Just because you recruit the 5-star doesn't mean you develop the 5-star. Because we see plenty of 5-stars in Alabama that didn't pan out, 4 and 5 stars. And that's the thing. And I always tell people he was the guy because we know Oregon has the NIL bag. He ain't leaving that. Texas, you don't leave Texas. They ain't hiring Mike Norvell, who lost 63-3. Look at how that year went so far.
Thank goodness that Norvell was not hired here.
And I'll say this last thing. Thanks for taking my call. Part of leadership is you learning what doesn't work, and you fix it. Kalen DeBoer is learning. It's his first year. He never had this type of microscope on him. But as you're seeing, he's learning, and he has those players back. He ain't go off on these players throw him on the bus like Kirby and Hugh Freeze has. He has those guys back, and you see it. And that's all I have. Thanks for taking my call, and keep up the great work, good brother.
Appreciate Tobias calling in from Phoenix. Appreciate him. And before we get the super chats, there is something I gotta say right here, and I mentioned this before. I mentioned this on a different show. We are seeing the development, the growth, and the start of the evolution of Kagan DeBoer. And before I even get to the growth and evolution that I've seen, we're going to take this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? It's Duval, man, from Griffin, Georgia.
How we doing, man? We doing okay?
Man, we doing all right. I'm out here on 285 with a load on my back trying to get back to the job. But, hey, I got a couple things I want to holler at you about, Steve.
Go ahead.
The two-back set where Milroe took it 72 yards to the house, that formation, that's going to be a lot of trouble for teams coming up these next couple games. They hadn't seen it. That's something new right there.
That's something very new right there.
Number two.
And the way that Nick Sheridan was able to attack out of that, whether it was power run with the quarterback, whether it was fake one way, throw a screen to one of the backs, justice or jam, there's a lot that you can attack out of that formation.
Yes. I like to see that, going forward. We need to build off that. We can put Kayla out wide, put Ryan in at the slot, put Jeremy Bernard on the other side. Man, we can eat out that formation.
Yeah.
That's the first point. Second point, man, if we don't keep Campbell standing up and running at the quarterback, that's going to get us in the chip. I think everything is coming together right now. I had to give the boys some grace. I had to give Womack some grace, Sheridan too, because like the last caller said, they're learning. So, it takes time in the SEC. This is a hard league to play in. I understand that. But the defense, they look, I think this is the most complete they've looked all season, to be honest. Well, maybe against Georgia, maybe against Wisconsin. But this right here, this solidified how they can really look when they put everybody in where they need to be.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, Wisconsin game was good. First half against Georgia was good. But this right here against LSU was the most complete. This was the most complete from start to finish, dominant, violent intentions, forcing takeaways, just taking an explosive offense and rendering it powerless. That's what Bama did.
Yes, really, really has some tiger meat. You know, tiger meat tastes good. My last point, I'm gonna get off the phone, man. They got us matched up against Indiana in the college football playoff. Now, I don't know who disrespected Georgia like that, but they got Georgia sitting out at number 12. Come on now, you know I'm not a Bulldog fan. I'm Roll Tide till I die, but you disrespect the SEC like that, Steven, man. I couldn't believe it when I seen it come out.
I mean, the playoff committee is doing some stuff, man. I was reading how they're taking it is it doesn't matter if you're set up, 1 through 12, because they're going to look at the strength of resume at the end of the day anyway. So my main thing here is I understand this is experimental, 12-team playoff, first time you're doing this, but don't overthink it too much, committee.
Right. Because they haven't played anybody out of conference. Not that I know of. What, FIU, I think, is the only out of conference that they play. I mean, like, come on, man. You gotta stop disrespecting the SEC. But that's all I got to say, man. Steven, keep doing your thing, man. Blessings to you and your family. Roll Tide, roll, baby.
Appreciate Duval calling in there out of Georgia. But I'm going to get back into the thought process I had there, which was you look at Kagan DeBoer and how he's learning, right? We saw two different pictures of DeBoer this season. The first picture we saw was after the Georgia game, right? We see him smiling. We see him happy, celebrating. You escape, you hang on for the win there against Georgia. And DeBoer, because he had never been in that situation before on this big of a stage, he celebrated some too. Because it didn't quite click to him at that time, the significance, the importance of playing with your A game every single week in this conference. And because he wasn't used to that, that's where you saw the bumps in the road against Tennessee and against Vanderbilt. Those two bumps in the road taught Coach DeBoer, hey, you got to value every matchup in this conference. Because if you don't, the most insignificant team you think in this conference will black your eye. And he saw that with Vanderbilt. And, of course, he saw that with Tennessee. So after the win against LSU, we see a different picture of DeBoer. What does he do? He walks up confidently, but with urgency in the post-game interview and said, hey, we'll enjoy this for 2 seconds, but we got to get back to work. Whole different picture. Why? Because he understands the urgency now of playing in this conference. It took him a minute, took him a while, but he now understands the urgency of playing in this conference. Gotta show some love to Jason Hayward! Let's go! With that $5 donation helping us out. And oh man, we got the pimp daddy himself. Anthony Lang is in here! Dropping that $100. Benjamin Franklin, why you gotta be here? Let's go! That daily super chat goal of $100 has been met thanks to all of you, the Bama family, helping us out here on the show. Got a cool call topic right here. And when you look at Alabama, right, 7-2 as of right now, 3 games left to go in the regular season. And here is the question. SEC championship or college football playoff? Which one is better for Alabama right now? The SEC championship is not out of question for the Crimson Tide. You still need some things to happen. You would need Texas A&M to beat Texas. You would need Georgia to beat Tennessee. I think you would need Missouri to lose to South Carolina, I think. You would need some things to happen. But the SEC championship is not out of the realm of possibility for Alabama. But a lot of you Tide fans have this. Look, a lot of you Tide fans have this. It's But, Stephen, what if Alabama gets to the SEC championship game and they lose the title game and they get put out of the playoff? Would you want that? No, of course I wouldn't want that. So, SEC championship or college football playoff? Which one is more beneficial to Alabama? Y'all drop that in the chat right there. We're going to take this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feel, and state your name and where you calling from.
Yo, Steven Smith. It's that boy T. Rich out of Lufkin, Texas. What's up?
Man, I'm good, I'm good. Better yet, though, how are you?
Hey, man, I'm good. Where you from? Don't forget where you stay. I'm in Texas, but I still rep Mississippi. Hey, speaking of Mississippi, I don't think we're really going to miss too much in Cunningham. Man, we got receivers.
Right.
As far as the D-line, Odom with Jaheim, it's kind of sad because he put in the work, but it seemed like he started lacking out. That's why he wasn't getting playing time. On top of him, they say he was kind of still nursing an injury. You know, I mean, he was. I didn't really see him come on. He did a little bit more last year than what he did this year. But hey, it is what it is. I feel like we doing better. I do got to give Kane one make grace because hey, we've been looking better, way better. I'm talking about, man. And don't get me wrong, I might get criticized for this. If I do, forgive me, Bama fans. I'm a big-time fan, Roll Tide. But is it me or is Bray Hubbard playing way better than Keon Sabb? That boy is balling. I like his game. I mean, Keon Sabb was good. He was talented. But him looking in the backfield a lot got him hit a lot. You know, like I said, the same flaws that he had in addition with, hey, they got exposed at Bama. Bray Hubbard ain't missing a beat. I like him better. And I think them inserting Bray Hubbard into the defense overall has them playing better. Malachi got somebody that he can trust to make a hit and to go and play, you know, his reads and do what he got to do, and it's making Malachi play more freely. I mean, in the way he get up and play the wood, lay the wood, man, I'm loving it. Sincere reaction. I'm talking about I'm loving it. This guy is putting on a show. Like I said, I feel like the defense is coming on. Jones and Pierre and Quays, you know, a next man up mentality. We got some dogs. Let them dogs be dogs. I mean, we got some pit bull puppies out there and they ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, run the ball, J. Mill. Hey, if we run the offense that we're running and play defense like we play, hey, man, roll tide. You feel me? That's all I can say is roll tide, roll. But once again, shout out to them linebackers, everybody doing their thing. D-Law, he's getting better. He's shaping up. He's trusting what he sees now, and that's a good thing. And it's making Jihad play a little bit, you know, more freely. And then when we have Jefferson get in, he gets in and beast mode and he lays the wood. I'm loving it. The defense has been playing better. I love the young guys getting rotation. I mean, still got some little knickknacks we got to tighten up. What's the word on Hook, man? What's up with him? Like, you know, our offensive guard, how long is he gonna be out for? What's up with him?
Now he's okay. His mom actually updated his status to everybody on social media. He's okay. Jaden Roberts is okay. He's not expected to miss big time at all. I mean, even, you know, kicking the board. You know, Jaden Roberts is fine. He's all right. So I know when he came off the field, it looked kind of rough there, but he's okay.
Right. And another thing, man, what do we got on the defensive line wise as far as recruiting? I mean, my boy Mike McCoy said it best. I mean, star rated is good. You know, he'll say, there say, but man, go to them old country backwoods, them country towns in Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana, and get them grit, get it out the mud, big 3 stars. I mean, that Anquan Barnes transfer to South Carolina, he's doing pretty good. You know, I mean, he was from Mississippi, 3-star, something like that.
Yeah.
And go get those guys that are hungry. You know, and hey, man, think of it. I've been wanting to call in and say this here too. Oh boy, Holstein that's going up there at Pittsburgh. Look at what he's doing.
And I think T. Rich, what Eli Holstein is doing it, Pitt. Dylan Larnigan's thinking about that right now. I think Larnigan may transfer after the season.
I really hate it because I feel like Larnigan is better than Austin Mack by a tremendous margin. I mean, other than the height ratio, I feel like he's better. But, man, he's going to make Ty play. He's going to make Ty go for what he does. If he stays and fights during the spring and see that, hey, I'm better than Ty, and the coach is going to be, don't play the bias, well, this, we got a situation on our hands, but a good situation to have.
A good situation to have, especially with Keelan Russell also coming in as well.
Right. Look, I ain't trying to keep up no time, man. In the end of the day, roll Tide roll. Steven, keep doing your thing. Let's go, Bama. Let's get it. Let's get to the SEC playoffs if we can get it. And I know some people say, hey, let's just get to the playoffs. Man, look, if we can get it there, we play one game at a time. Do like Nick Saban said, next. Hey, don't worry about the scoreboard or the play clock and play ball, play sound. And I even believe this right here. I promise you, I felt like if Nick Saban was the guest speaker before the Tennessee game, it would have been a totally different outcome. When are they going to get Nick Saban just to be a guest speaker to just come in and speak to his old team? Wouldn't that rile you up? Better yet, if we get to the playoffs and make it to the finals, Nick Saban be Alabama's guest speaker and turn them boys up before the game. Roll Tide, let's go.
Appreciate T-Rich calling in right there to the show. And I'm going to say this about Caleb Cunningham. Good kid, good wide receiver prospect out of Mississippi, but we're in the NIL era of college football. What does that mean? I don't trust any commitment until that commitment becomes a signee. Once you put pen to parchment, once you put pen to paper, we can talk then. You locked in then. But until pen hits paper, anything can sway you. That is where we are in college football right now. Until pen is put to paper, I'm not receiving it as a done deal. Pen got to be put to paper first. We're going to take our break here, folks. When we get back, we're getting to has Alabama found its alpha leader on defense to bring everybody else with him? We'll discuss it after this. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, this. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that band without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, here we go, people. Back into the action from the break on a Wednesday, Hump Day. Number one show for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue hitting the like button, smashing that thumbs up, hitting that thumbs up button right there. Subscribe to the show as well, making this your spot, your place, your avenue for all things Tide football. Begin the topic two of the conversation. Has Alabama found its alpha on defense? Head honcho, if you will, on defense, that everybody else can roll behind and guiding this program to where it wants to be, which is the college football playoff and competing for a national championship. Folks, I think Alabama has found their guy, and it's Jihad Campbell, the former five-star from New Jersey who came in the 2022 recruiting class. This guy has become the alpha male right here. I mean, the last few weeks, he has been putting on a tear, leading the team in tackles, for loss. Right now, he's tied for the team lead in sacks with 4, Q-Rob, but he's got 9 tackles for loss. He's got, I think, 5 quarterback hurries, if I'm not mistaken. He's got an interception on the year, a forced fumble against LSU. This guy was in Garrett Nussmeier's face, creating chaos. 12 tackles, 3 of those for loss, 1.5 sacks, a forced fumble, quarterback hurry. Campbell was absolutely everywhere. And he mentioned Monday in the team meeting, if you are not giving your all to Alabama in practice, then you shouldn't even be here. He don't need to have a C on his uniform, a captain patch on his uniform to get folks' attention. Campbell's play on the field has earned him every ounce of respect from his teammates and coaches. He don't need no C patch on his chest for folks to say, that brother talking. All that brother got to do is line a quarterback up at his grill, and everybody shuts up and goes, okay, Campbell just hit somebody. This dude for real. This dude is the real deal. We got to be listening to this cat right here. Jihad Campbell's playing. The guy's playing like a first-round pick for next year's draft. That's how he's trending right now. But I understand the main thing he is focused on, getting to the college football playoff, making a run in the 12-team playoff, and potentially playing for a national championship. And when you watch Campbell play, he takes on the mentality of those Saban linebackers. We're talking a Reggie Ragland. We're talking a Reuben Foster. He's taking on that mentality. When you watch Campbell make a sack, he's getting them. I told you I was going to knock you out. Bam! Like, he's taking on that moniker. Like, he's taking on that mean, nasty, aggressive moniker. And he's taking on the moniker of not only is he going to say something, but he's going to back up what he's saying. I mean, all week leading up to the LSU game, what did Jihad Campbell say? We're bringing bad intentions. We're coming with violent intentions down to the Baton Rouge. And not only did he say it, y'all, he backed it up. We've been waiting on that. Not only do you say that, you back it up. And he backed it up by going in the Death Valley, by leading the team in tackles, by being in Garrett Nussmeier's face, by harassing the mess out of Nussmeier, by creating takeaways, by helping this Alabama defense shut down one of the best offenses in college football. Not only did Campbell say it, he backed it up. That's what we want to see all year. Back up the talk with some action. Be about that action. And Jihad Campbell has emerged as the guy, in the words of Marshawn Lynch, it's about that action, boss. About that action. Campbell has emerged as the guy that's about that action. And this is phenomenal because now everybody looks at him as, we got to match his energy. We got to match his intensity. We got to match his fire. We got to match everything that he's bringing on the field from a defensive perspective. Because if you think about it, the way Campbell is playing, it makes Lawson step his game up. The way Campbell is playing, it makes guys in the defensive line step their game up. The way Campbell is playing, it makes those guys in the secondary want to go even harder. Why? Because Campbell has said, look, get behind me. I'm the lead wolf. I'm leading y'all all down here. So this is big. This is big. I think he's the guy that's got this team focused on one game, one play, one situation at a time, and trying to get to and compete for a national championship. But before we go to our final break and get into the discussion topic to wrap this up here, we're going to get into kind of a cool call topic here. Ryan Williams spoke the other day, and just the maturity of that young man, and he talked about, even though he may not be getting the stats he would like to have right now the last couple of games, he mentioned after the LSU win that Jalen Milroe came to the sideline talking to the receivers. He's like, my bad, y'all. My bad I haven't been getting y'all the ball. I've been trying to get y'all the ball. My bad. Ryan Williams is like, dude, like, we ain't tripping. We winning. Like, you out here balling. Like, man, forget the stats. We getting this dub. And just the pure maturity and unselfishness from this 17-year-old freshman. I love this right here. Most wide receivers, they want the football. If they're not getting the football, it's a problem. Ryan Williams is like, dude, I don't care. We're out here winning. You balling. We shutting up LSU. We got their fans in the parking lot, not in the stadium. We didn't sat there and took down the cousin of Mike the Tiger, Omar. Like, we doing what we got to do. Like, it don't matter whether I catch a ball or not. We out here winning. And the players have bought in to DeBoer's mindset. The players have bought in to Kane Womack's mindset. Players have bought in to Nick Sheridan's mindset and the other coaches on the staff as well. This is a beautiful thing to see here, and especially coming from Ryan Williams, hearing him say that during this week of media availability. But we're going to take our final break here on the show, folks. We'll touch that dial when we get back. We get into a discussion of how can Alabama build off this performance against LSU for this week against Mercer. We'll wrap it up with that after this.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on? This is Benny Bice. I'm the founder and owner of Touchdown Alabama. And you guys are supporting one of the only independent outlets covering Alabama football today. No other sports, no networks, just Alabama football. Roll Tide roll.
All right, folks, here we go. Locked and loaded at the action from the break here. Number one ticket for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA, wrapping things up here with this discussion. But first off, I appreciate all of you being a part of this show, calling in today, chatting in the YouTube chat line, but donations today. All of you did what you do. You make this show your place, safe haven, conversation spot for Alabama football. But to wrap things up here, how does Alabama take this performance against LSU and use it against Mercer where it doesn't have a letdown, right? I think number one, the thing Alabama has to do is remember how you felt when you didn't take Vanderbilt seriously and they blacked your eye following the Georgia game. Remember how you felt when you didn't take Vanderbilt seriously. Remember how you felt when you didn't take Tennessee seriously, and that was a loss. Remember how you felt when you almost lost to South Carolina. It was during that stretch of games where you're coming off a huge win over Georgia, everybody's pumping you up, everybody's singing your praises. and you didn't quite know how to handle it. Now, the second time around, you know how to handle it because you understand we got to lay down this law. We got to lay down this law against Alabama's got to lay down this law against Mercer. And it starts with the both coordinators having the same intensity, having the same fire that they had in the LSU game. Like, we saw passion from Nick Sheridan. He was yelling, he was screaming, he was going off in that booth. We got to have more of that against Mercer. We saw a locked-in Kane Womack, focused, detailed, wanting to make sure every play is being executed to perfection. You got to have that on display against Mercer. And even out of the players wanting to have that marquee locked-in execution. From the offensive line, the defensive players, everybody performed their job last week. You got to have that again in even greater detail this week because people are going to feel like, well, it's Mercer. You should beat them by 100. You should beat them by 500. You got to have that same locked-in focus no matter who the opponent is. And playing to your standard, you don't care who the opposition is. You're playing to the style of, we know, if we play like this every single time, nobody can mess with us. That's the mentality Alabama's got to have to make sure it doesn't have a letdown against Mercer, because you want to kick Mercer out the way, go into Oklahoma with confidence, with urgency, with, putting them out the way on your mind. And then you want to go into Auburn in the Iron Bowl with confidence, with urgency, and definitely wanting to put Auburn out the way as well. But Mercer this week, this is a quality game for some of your second and third wave players to get out there, show you that you can trust them in terms of the coaches trusting these young guys to go out there, handle your assignment, prepare, play exceptionally well, right? Game where you get your starters in there, your starters lay down the law, get your starters out of the game as quickly as possible. Game where you fine-tune the small details. You get every small detail fine-tuned. You get every small detail worked on. You get every small kink worked out. So that way, when you go into Norman, Oklahoma the following week to play the Sooners, when you come back for Tuscaloosa to play Auburn in the Iron Bowl, you have all of those small kinks there worked out. But I'm excited for this matchup right here. Get a chance to get some fresher faces out there, but you also get a chance to still lay down that law and have that sense of urgency carrying over from the LSU game. But as always, Bama fans, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage here on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store, your Rocket Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone for your audio needs. Check us out. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. Good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll try to be back on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, haven't done so, do this now. Get you that subscription to touchdownalabama.com. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Get your phone, your iPad, whatever device you got. Add to it right now. Get that subscription to touchdownalabama.com. If you want to feel like I'm always in the know when it comes to Bama football, if you want to feel like you are an insider on your favorite team, but I encourage you now, get that subscription to touchdownalabama.com. You will have nothing but the up-to-date Bama right there in your hands. You can't beat that with a stick. It don't get any better than that. So touchdownalabama.com. You get you that subscription today. But appreciate all of you for all the calls, super chats, chatting in the YouTube chat line, making this your spot, your show, your place for Bama football. Till next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. There you get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, and your man Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.